A St. Clair County family's house goes up in flames, and the only things in the house that survived are 2 Bibles. Reporter Ashley Gooden has our story.
There was no space in that wall. You couldn't walk through it, but it looks just like a doorway right now.
The Rosas family home is completely destroyed. The plan is to demolish the rest of it in a few days, but until then, they're thanking God.
I speak what I think. I don't sugarcoat anything. I have very little filter, but I have a big heart and I believe in God. And God was definitely here that day, because if not, Sherry Rosas, her husband, and her son would not have made it. Sherry's 13-year-old son heard a knock on the door that day and went to check it out. Sherry's daughter, Ashley, is glad he did.
A lady had told my mom that the reason he heard the knocking was because that was God knocking on the door to let him know that he was to get out of the house because the house was burning. If they wouldn't have got out in time, when he heard that knocking, they would have probably been in that back room, and they wouldn't have been able to get out where they were at.
That was the day after Christmas. Since then, they've been digging through the rubble looking for what matters most to them. Baby pictures and Sherry's father, whose ashes had been with her since he died earlier this year.
Like under a pile of stuff, and the box, of course, the box melted around it to protect his ashes. It's like the paper and everything that was inside his box, because we had his certificate and everything in it from where he passed away.
Also important, the Bibles, one big one and one little one, which has been opening to a specific page in the book of Proverbs since the fire. Sherry says it speaks to her.
This right here, I think.
Where it says, I'm weary, God, and I have been since the passing of my dad, so it's just God's way to let me know that I'll be all right.
The end of that verse says, "But I can prevail," which they've been doing with the help of neighbors since the day of the fire.
In the rubble of bricks and wood is this piano.
Played for us each week, was right there.
But what survived? Stacks of chart Bibles and a cross.
That cross is where we would get a little piece of paper with the string, and everyone put all their family members and different ones we wanted to pray for, and we hung them on that cross. And it is an absolute miracle that that cross made it through the fire when nothing else did.
All right, an incredible story from Memphis this morning. Good Samaritans are being credited with saving a man's life after a violent fiery crash. This Jeep went up in flames after getting sideswiped and pushed off the interstate. Other drivers immediately stopped and rushed in, trying to free the driver.
About to start going, they car, get stuck, the bus windows. I would say we gotta get this man out this car.
They were able to get him out. As she said, he is expected to be okay. Firefighters found another miracle, though, inside the burned out car, a Bible on the front seat that wasn't burned at all.
Well, Diane, charred with nothing left except the frame of a car until firefighters took a closer look, finding the good book among the rubble. Shards of glass, burned pieces, and tire box. That's all that's left from this car fire on Friday in Gaffney. Oh, and there's one more thing. Perched up on top of this car, hard to tell in this photo. It's a book, but not just any book.
They found a Bible inside the car.
A car where nothing else survived. The Lord's words were still there.
The College Hill Church Sanctuary, which stood for more than a century and a half, took less than 4 hours to completely burn down in an overnight fire. When church leaders got a look inside the burned-down sanctuary Sunday morning, they described a scene of complete devastation. Everything that had dated back to the 1800s, including the original pews, pulpits, and even the stained glass windows, completely gone. Everything except the original Bible.
A decades-old Bible survived the East Harlem building collapse last week. It is what some would call a miracle. Workers found the treasured antique in the rubble. Several members of the 80-year-old Spanish Christian church expressed shock and joy when they learned that the Bible did not go up in flames. The Reverend Thomas Perez experienced heart palpitations and had to be taken to the hospital when they found the holy book. 5 church members are among the 8 people who died in that blast.
Is this a test of faith?
Yes, it will be.
And then, as if a sign from above, a Christmas miracle pulled from the ashes. The cross, 2 candlesticks, a Bible, and hymnals, all intact. Stephanie Brzezinski, WXII 12 News.
All right, Jake, thank you for that. Unbelievable sight, actually, in Lahaina as well, amongst all the rubble. one very, very special building that managed to survive that fire. We've got some video posted on TikTok, shows that the Maria Elena Kila Catholic Church looking nearly immaculate despite smoldering land and debris surrounding it. Residents are calling it just a miracle and a sign that Lahaina will rebuild. Look at that in the future.